Welcome. So, remember all that talk of throwing a ball at 3-ball head is a 3, 5-ball head is 5, etc.? Well, it's garbage. Get it. I mean, sure, it's kind of right, but only slightly. I'm going to introduce you to two concepts: dwell time and beats. First, I'll go over beats. Beats are basically the tempo of the pattern. For example, a 3 throw is labeled 3 because it takes 3 beats. Now, a beat isn't a certain length of time. It can be faster or slower or even change during the pattern. But what the number 3 indicates is that there are 3 beats before the ball will be acted upon again. The ball spends 2 beats in the air and then 1 beat in your hand. Then the ball moves again on that 4th beat. That is what the numbers mean in Siteswap. This means that the pattern 3 is synonymous to the pattern 5-2-2, just with a different tempo. But the tricks look the exact same. So now the other concept, dwell time. Dwell time is the amount of time the ball spends in your hand before it is thrown again. This is where the time it takes for a beat kind of gets weird, because the higher you will throw the ball, the more dwell time you will need in general. So people who can juggle a lot at once or are good at tricks like 9-7-5-3-1 have to have very strong arms, because they need to reduce that dwell time as much as possible to keep the beats consistent. Let's just take 5-3-1 for example. You don't actually throw the 5 at 5-ball height and the 3 at 3-ball height. Instead, if you want to keep your hands consistent, you throw the 5 higher, and you throw the 3 much lower than a 3-ball pattern. That is how dwell time affects the pattern. Okay, so now that you really know what the numbers mean, let's go back to the math. Even if the pattern works out on paper, that doesn't mean it will work out in the air. Take 4-3-2 for example. 4 plus 3 plus 2 is 9. Divided by 3? 3. So in theory it works out. But when you actually do the trick, it doesn't work. They all go to the exact same hand. So really what you need to remember by this is anything with 2 numbers and the last one is 1 fewer than the number before it isn't going to work out. For example, 6-5 or 5-4, or in this case 4-3 and 3-2. So, moving on, changing subjects entirely, I'll explain why there are only even numbers in sync patterns. So I mentioned in the basic Siteswap that for a 3 throw, it is in your hand for 1 beat before it can do anything. That's when you catch it. Well, if both your hands throw at the same time and you catch them both, the props need to be in your hand a beat before they can do anything. Hence why every throw is even. So on another note, completely changing again, what happens after 9 in Siteswaps? What if you want to do a 12 throw? What distinguishes that from a 1 and then a 2? Well, that's where the letters of the alphabet come in. 10 becomes A, 11, B, 12, C, etc., all the way to Z. What happens after Z? Good question. Jugglers have yet to agree, so I don't know, put in your vote, I guess? We'll see what happens. So, a final thing about Siteswaps, they are not the be-all, end-all. There can be hundreds of tricks with the exact same Siteswap, and that's because Siteswaps say nothing about how you do the throw. For example, a 3 can be an under-the-leg throw, or an under-the-leg catch, or both. In addition to that, you can try and slow down the beats of your pattern and make your 2 active, denoted by 2T. The pattern Mills mess is actually just 3 in Siteswap. Programs where you can input a Siteswap and it will tell you the pattern, what it would normally look like, lets you choose what you want the arms of it to do, or if you wanted to do multiplexes or anything like that, but still it can't fully explain some tricks. In summary, although Siteswaps are amazing for describing tricks to someone, many times it's not enough to describe the whole trick. And as cool as they are, you really need to just show the trick, honestly. There's a lot of complications about trying to convert something in the air into math, but it is really good to know it to be able to explain things to other people. Have fun and never stop having fun.